Good evening and welcome to a new episode of Bahrain Now. In tonight's episode, we're going to learn more about the Korean culture and see what's happening at the American University of Bahrain. I'm Bara Abdallah and this is Bahrain Now. Education has undergone a bit of an overhaul since the pandemic at the American University of Bahrain. Staff and students are determined to continue to support each other through their new experiences of learning. More in this with the report.
Class is back in session, students. And the great news is that if you have a campus as beautiful as this one, you've got an amazing incentive to get back into the classroom. Now, luckily for AUBH students, President Susan Saxton and her administrative team are doing their bit to keep you safe and engaged while you're back at university.
Well, what do you think, we stopped working? No such thing around here. Let's start with the modality, which is what we're calling a synchronous dual modality. Basically, that means that class happens at a certain time, and you can attend in class at a social distance, or you can attend online but off the campus. We have a number of of other types of services, but they are a part of the curriculum, which you would have whether you were here or not. For example, we moved to a platform called Canvas. We are using Microsoft Teams for our interaction and communication.
So all of you here and all of you online who have showed up today, congratulations. You took the very first step, the most important step. And I want you to remember that you have to show up in order to be able to succeed.
So the culture of care is really about keeping people safe, but it is also, and equally before COVID, about supporting our students and again supporting our staff. For our students, it's about different programs that we're running to give them support. Our elevated AUBH program, which is a program designed on a custom basis for students who might be having problems in certain classes, or problems with time management, or problems with studying in a certain way. Part of our culture of care is to provide whatever services, whatever support they need to help them get over that obstacle. We have about a 50-50 split. Some students like to come and enjoy the camaraderie. They haven't seen their friends in a while. For some, it's been more than one term. So they like being on campus and seeing their friends. And others have some situation that might keep them at home, or just actually prefer the distance learning. We're trying to make it as interactive as possible so that it doesn't feel like they're so far away and distant from the class. We care about each and every student. I think it's one thing that makes us unique. We're right now building our culture, so we're totally focused on this. We didn't come here inheriting something that was done in the past. We came here with the idea of trying to create something almost utopian, but something that is inspiring, an experience that will bring a student anywhere, that will give them confidence, that will make them curious, that will make them want to travel, and that will make them want to experience the world. I know it sounds like a dream, and maybe a pretty big dream at that, but we believe that it's possible to do. Each and every one of us here have that sense of care. This is why we have that culture of care. We have that passion.
So what's the most important thing? You gotta show up. Fall down, you gotta show up more.
Showing up is the very first step. And if they show up here and they come to our campus, we're going to be showing up for them as well. And this is our promise, and this is going to be the culture, the nature of the school.
With aptly aimed initiatives in place such as the culture of care, university students can re-enter the campus whilst maintaining a social distance from others. So make sure that you follow your university's regulations, and that you maintain a social distance from others, and that you stay safe, and that you study hard. This is Khalid Hidris reporting for Bahrain International.
To tell us more about the American University of Bahrain's efforts during this time is the AUBH COO William Hurt and Director of IT Samir Al-Atawi. So welcome.
Thank you for having us.
Oh, pleasure. So how's it feel going back to campus?
You know, it's great. I think we both agree that being cooped up in our houses for many months, it's a welcome change to be on the campus.
We are super thrilled going back to campus. The students are happy, and I think it's fantastic here.
Yeah, and we make it a point to talk to students pretty frequently as well.
Okay.
And so it seems like they're happy to see friends. They're happy to use facilities. You know, go to the gym. You know, see professors. All right. So it's great. Yeah, we're happy.
Okay, so you guys are great, and how about the students? How do they feel about it?
You know, we've changed quite a bit from how we operate normally under normal circumstances. But I think a lot of these changes have been viewed positively by students. We're doing a dual modality right now at the university, meaning we're teaching online and face-to-face at the same time, which Samira and her team have been fantastic in helping us implement. And students seem to really like it.
All right.
And many students want to keep it even after the pandemic. You know. So.
Yeah, a very positive feedback. I think, you know, when you have some students who thrive online, some students who thrive in the class, you know, they like the flexibility, and we're happy to provide it to them. So, you know, they're taking class at exactly the same time. Just some of the students are online, and some of the students are face to face.
All right.
And the feedback has been fantastic.
Amazing.
And I think our faculty have done a great job of kind of modifying the way that they teach as well, because that takes a lot of work.
Amazing.
Yeah.
A lot of work, a lot of effort going on there. So, I mean, when the pandemic, you know, started, it's not like we had a manual. It's like, in case of pandemic, break the glass and press that button. That didn't really happen. So you guys had your own challenges figuring out what works for the university. So what was the challenges?
I think the biggest challenge was the unknown, dealing with the unknown, and it's a new area to tap into, especially in the higher education. But I think the way that we are a startup, it gives us a good opportunity to start right from the beginning. Cloud-based university, all our systems are accessible online, so it was a seamless experience for us and for our students. Also, we try to bring the normal experience to our student with this double modality. So students, they don't feel strange. They feel comfortable meeting their friends, whether online, on campus. So yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah, we're proud that we were able to switch to a dual modality without losing a day of class. So we went online February 28th. And
second day.
we were online immediately after the restrictions were put in place.
Amazing.
And it's the benefit of being a startup.
Yeah.
You know, we were a startup that was founded in 2019.
Okay.
So our university was designed with a lot of this infrastructure in place already. You know, with online collaboration tools and a great learning management system and things like that. So our relationship with Amazon Web Services, of course Microsoft with Teams. So we were able to pivot very quickly. You know, we saw the pandemic affecting higher education in other regions. We saw it coming through Europe. We of course saw what was happening in Asia. Yeah. And so we knew it was a matter of time before we had to adapt and change. And so rather than building the tools, we just had the tools in place already, and we made sure that they were robust enough to support what we needed to do. And you know, Samira and her team were fantastic. Our faculty were fantastic, like I mentioned. So, yeah, it was really great.
Yeah, I mean, seeing what's happening with other schools and universities, I mean, they were trying to see what is the best platform. Is it Zoom? Is it Microsoft? But apparently you guys thought of that way ahead. I mean, regardless of the pandemic, right?
I think we are lucky with the pandemic because we took it as an opportunity, and it's really accelerated the work that we're doing. Our students and faculty, they were using already Teams in a smaller scale, but when the pandemic came, we had the opportunity to explore the academic dilemmas, you know, like how to get the attendance and all of this kind of stuff. And probably it just was a smooth experience so far for our students and faculty. Faculty also took this opportunity to, I mean, they're amazing and getting the technology. It's a lot of pressure in a very short time. But you know, positive attitude and the culture of care that we're trying to give for our students as well as for our staff and faculty. So they have shifted most of their material again overnight. and probably they come prepared with it. So it just coming with the online enabled material, so it is interactive. Going for synchronous learning and asynchronous learning, live or using the Canvas as an American technology in AUBH. So students can capture the course material even if they go home. But again, we give them also the advantage to enjoy the dual modality and keep the same normal classroom experience and engage with the students. It was amazing and fantastic experience so far.
Yeah, yeah.
So proud of it as well.
Yeah. And
it seems like it.
You know, we viewed it as almost an opportunity, right? It was universities that have a lot of history behind them and certain processes and procedures in place. It's tough. It was really hard to adapt all of their existing infrastructure and the way that they were doing things on a day-to-day basis. And so when you look at the global landscape of education, you see some universities that really did view it as an opportunity to say, now we're going to make that investment to progress, right? Now we're going to think about how we can engage with our students digitally, which is something that, you know, honestly, it needs to happen. So, you know, we did have that advantage as a small startup university to pivot. And some other universities globally have done the same thing, and it's been fantastic. You're really kind of separating the ones who are going to be around for the next 100 years from the ones who might not be.
Pretty interesting that you said that, actually. But you know, you took the opportunity, you made the most out of it.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. And it's been a challenge for education globally. But you know, I think ultimately we'll be better off. You know, and even students. I mean, students have been fantastic through this. You know, we always talk about showing up at AUBH, which was something our president mentioned in her speech during the orientation this semester. And you know, our students showed up, and that's fantastic. So we're showing up for them. You know, that's what we're.
And also, as a startup, it doesn't give us, I mean, the excuse of not getting focus on the higher education problems or concerns like the exam integrity. So we're using also ProctorU for our student. That was quite a challenge at the beginning, but. Having the, I mean, the positive collaboration from faculty and the student and everybody and from our staff, it might become the favorite approach even for our students. They feel that much relaxed with the technology that we're using. So yeah, I think this change will carry over even after the pandemic, and maybe AUBH leading the market in this perspective.
You know, as I'm hearing your story right now, what I wish that could have happened is that somebody would actually just document the entire process and put like vlogs on YouTube and just watch what happened from day one. And it's like, okay, it's happening, you know, we're going to be online in February. And that's it, we're going to carry on until campus comes to, you know, to the live staging of class and all that. So I wish somebody can actually take a documentary of how you actually took the most out of this opportunity. That would have been cool.
Well, I'm sure there are going to be many case studies globally about this pandemic in education. But that's a good idea, so I think Samira will work on that.
I think it's coming soon. It's great.
To your screens.
Exactly.
And I think it's a good platform for everybody, like spread a culture of knowledge and exchange knowledge. I think it's a very positive initiative for AUBH to lead the market in this perspective.
To lead the market.
I think also to partnership with the key players in the market, in the educational field, whether it's public or private. I think we have open arms for everybody.
Love that, love that. So before we leave, I mean, any advice you'd like to give to your students watching right now?
Yeah, I mean, every university has their own plan in place right now. And, you know, our students understand ours. We're very proud of it. Of course, we're following all the safety precautions, you know, the Ministry of Health and the Higher Education Council and the, all the different organizations that are helping to control the pandemic in Bahrain. And so, you know, making sure that they continue to follow those guidelines and make sure that they can continue in this model and the way that we're operating, because that's incredibly important for the well-being of the entire AUBH community and the communities of other universities as well. But I think I'll go back to what I said, our president mentioned during the orientation this month for our new class of 2024. You know, it's just showing up. This has been a tremendously challenging year for students. and they're in some cases not getting the experience that they expected.
Right.
And you know, we at AUBH are doing everything we can to create as normal a process as possible. We're trying to still connect them with employers, give them fantastic scholarship opportunities.
Wow.
You know, we're trying to make sure all of that doesn't change for them, but they have to show up.
Right.
You know, if they're facing some adversity, if they have some specific you know, work that's really challenging, they have to come at it, right? And they have to show up for the university. And as educators, this is what we do. If they show up for us, we'll show up for them. And I think that goes not only for the AUBH community, but for really every university here in Bahrain and globally.
And I think our processes during the pandemic also has changed a lot and makes it a lot easier for our students. So we're not, again, operating in a traditional way during the pandemic.
Yeah.
Students, they can still reach out for us and show up. Remotely. They can ask for support, for IT support, for example, remotely through booking appointment with an IT agent. So we are trying to go beyond the normal processes as we used to be before the pandemic. Even, for example, reaching out for an academic support from the faculty, so students, they can just book their appointment for office hours. So it might be not like but utilizing the technology in an intelligent way and within the context is what really matters.
Right.
So technology is there, but you need to have a collaborative team and a team who's thinking beyond our out of the box on how can tailor or retailer the process in a way that makes it easy and reflect our culture at AUBH, which is basically culture of care.
Culture of care, I love that.
Yeah,
I can feel the positivity, creativity, and, you know, just owning the moment. Well, thank you so much, CEO of AUBH, Milliam Hurt, and Samira Al-Atawi, the Director of IT.
Pleasure.
Thank you so much for having us.
Pleasure. And that was it. Stay tuned for more happening here in Bahrain Now, as coming up next, Korean culture. So with us here tonight is Miss Zahra Safi, the winner of the first prize in the Korean Language Competition 2020. So, 안녕하세요.
안녕하세요.
Did I say that right?
Yes.
Took me a while. So congratulations for winning the first prize.
Thank you so much.
So tell us more about the competition.
First of all, I would like to say the competition was not easy. Over 1,900 students from all over the world participated in it. So I was really honored to reach the final round and represent Bahrain in such a large-scale competition. I tried to write and present a speech that is impactful. Many people helped me, especially my teachers. I'm really thankful for them. And thankfully, I got the first place.
Amazing, amazing.
Thank you.
I mean, you know, I'm a little bit curious. You said an impactful speech.
Yeah.
Can you give us a few lines out of the speech, just one or two lines maybe, in Korean? Let's see how it sounds.
All right. So this is my favorite part in the speech. 만나다 보면 서로에게 영향을 주고받으면서 서로를 비춰주는 거울이 된다는 말입니다. So in this line,
I'm convinced, but whatever one. Yes, to it.
So in this line, I was explaining about the impact that people can give each other when they meet from different cultures and different countries.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Wow. So it took you a while to learn that, or?
Yeah. So I started about 4 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah. And after 4 years, I reached to this point.
Beautiful.
Thankfully.
Beautiful. That's it. I mean, winning first prize. That is a big, huge deal.
Yeah. I'm really thankful.
Congratulations. How can I say congratulations in Korean?
축하합니다.
Okay. Thank you. We're gonna learn that later.
Yeah.
So what made you learn Korean?
So first of all, I'm really interested in linguistics and languages in general. Since I'm speaking Arabic as my mother tongue and learning English since I was young, I wanted to learn something that is new and different. And everything Korean was interesting and unique to me. They have different grammar, alphabet, and sounds, pronunciation. So I like the fact that I was learning something new from the start and learning new concepts while studying it.
It is very interesting to see that right now, in this generation, whether it was because of BTS, you know, everybody's learning that. My son watches BTS a lot. He knows the words of the song Fire, so while playing Fortnite together. And then K-pop is taking a big, huge deal right now. Everybody's listening to K-pop, but TV shows are even growing bigger and bigger in the scene. So is the Korean culture right now getting more popular here in the scene?
Yes, Korean culture is getting popular. And for me as a language learner, listening to the language a lot really helped me picking up the language and learning it quickly and easily. So that was my method, I could say, of picking up the language. Yeah,
beautiful.
That was it.
Beautiful. Do you feel that you think differently? You're like a different persona when you speak Korean?
Yeah, of course. So in Korean, everything is different. It's so different compared to Arabic and English. They have their own expressions. So I could give you an example. In Korean, they have a special word that imitates the sound of water when it boils. Yeah, so they have really interesting concepts that I did not really know about when I'm speaking Arabic or learning English. So I really feel myself having a different character or personality when I speak Korean, and that's really interesting and amazing.
That is interesting.
In my opinion, yeah.
An expression for water sound when it boils?
Yeah,
what
it imitates the sound. Oh, the word is 보글보글.
보글보글.
Yeah.
And just say it fast.
You said it right.
보글보글.
Yeah. It just imitates the sound on how water looks when it boils.
Wow.
So yeah, that's interesting. They have so many different concepts, linguistic concepts, than what we're used to.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, okay, now I feel more motivated to learn Korean. So any tips you can give me? Like, what can I do? I mean, honestly, yes, we can go to a class, read a book and all of that, but are there more interesting ways to learn Korean?
Yeah. So as I said before, I started learning Korean all by myself.
Yeah.
So my tip would be is to just get exposed to the language as much as you can. You will find yourself picking it up easily and quickly. And this is a method I follow personally. Even if it's not my studying time, I just turn on Korean news.
Korean news?
Yeah, especially that I'm trying to increase my advanced vocabulary.
Wow.
And I just listen to it. And by the time I found myself correcting my pronunciation, intonation, and learning new vocabularies even without me knowing.
Okay.
So yeah, that would be my tip for language learners.
Now, I'm sure you can tell us, and you can actually confirm the fact that Korean, Chinese, and Japanese, they're totally different, right?
They are. They are. But there are some similarities between them. I actually started learning Chinese.
Wow.
Yeah. I'm still a beginner,
Okay.
but I could find that there are some origins that are used in both Korean and Chinese, but the alphabet is different, pronunciation, sounds. There are so many different parts in Japanese, Chinese, and Korean.
It's very interesting to see that back, let's say, starting in 2001 up to 2005 or 10, for whatever reason, the Japanese language and culture was pretty much popular back then when watching anime or video games, but now things changed, and now the Korean culture is taking more of a popularity.
Yeah.
So is it because of the pop culture, or is it because of things you might actually know more than me about it?
I think one of the things that helped increasing the interest in Korean culture is teaching the language itself.
Okay.
Yeah, because I'm studying now in an institute, and this institute, you can find it in every country in the world, and they are offering free classes for everyone who is interested in learning Korean, learning the culture, learning even about cooking Korean food. So learning the language, learning about the culture, offering these classes really got people interested in the culture and in the language itself.
Okay, that's very interesting.
Yeah.
Now, to the last question, I'll share a request. How can I say I want free food in Korean?
Oh, free food.
Yeah, I want free food. Please, I want free food in Korean.
무료로 음식을 주세요.
Okay. yeah. Well, I think I'm getting into some private classes if you don't mind.
Or you can say just 음식 주세요.
음식 주세요.
음식 주세요. Yeah. 주세요 means just give me, please.
Okay.
And just can attach it with anything you want to get it.
음식
Maybe.
주세요. Okay, well, we gotta learn that. That can come very handy. Yeah, I want free food.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much. And
You're
any
welcome.
last words or an advice to us all before we end this conversation?
I just want to tell everyone that learning a new language comes with many opportunities, and this is what I felt and experienced personally. So I really encourage everyone who is interested in learning languages to take it seriously and invest their time, their effort to learn it, because it will be helpful and beneficial at the last.
I'm sure of that.
Yeah.
Well, to the pride of Bahrain herself, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you in Korean.
감사합니다.
감사합니다. Thank you so much. And I
감사합니다.
appreciate your effort for making it and putting Bahrain right up there in the competition. Proud of you.
Thank you so much.
Whether you like BTS or Korean food or just into Korean pop culture or anything to do with Korea, here you have it. The pride of Bahrain, Zahra Safi, winning the first prize of the Korean language competition. Stay tuned for more happening here on Bahrain Now. We all miss the movie theaters, and our own reporter couldn't wait any longer to go back to the movie life with the new drive-in experience. Let's watch the following field report by Walid El-Abloushi.
It's the weekend, and I'm sure we all miss movie theaters. How about we switch it up into a more fun and safe experience? So let's check it out and find out the audience feedback. Let's drive in.
Well, it's definitely a new beginning of a cinema. So the idea of the drive-in BH, which is a new concept of the first drive-in cinema for Bahrain, really came up because at a time when cinemas were closed in Bahrain due to COVID-19, we thought there was a great opportunity to give the people of Bahrain a unique experience which was safe and family-friendly at the same time. STC Drive-in BH is a completely safe environment, a safe process, starting all the way from the time from ticketing, which is when you want to book your tickets, to the entry is a completely contactless experience. We do not promote any cash, and there's no cash transactions. The whole ticketing is online. You come in here, you receive a QR code from the comfort of your car itself. Your ticket is scanned and you are let entry. Keeping that in mind, once you're in the show, the cars have been kept at least a 2-meter spacing between each car as per the government guidelines for COVID-19. And all the staff that is on site is being screened daily. The use of complete PPE, which is including of masks and gloves, is used by all staff members.
these circumstances, you know, it's difficult. We don't go out, we don't really get to go to the movies at all, and this is quite a safe way to do it. So I'm happy.
Oh, I think it's a great situation, even due to the COVID-19. You're still able to watch movies, watch cinema. We weren't able to do that before, so this is a great substitute so that you can do that. So hopefully they continue to keep it on even after COVID is dissipated.
This cinema, it's a very good idea to make something entertaining, and especially in these times where we're all trapped in home and we don't know what to do, we're always bored. So I think this is a great idea to entertain the people of Bahrain.
I like it because we can watch cinema in Corona, so I love it.
Now that was a unique experience. There are still safe and fun things to do in Bahrain. If you're thinking to come to this cinema, make sure you come in early, use mask and sanitizer. Turn on your radio, have fun, but be safe. I'm Walid Al-Blushi, reporting for Bahrain International TV.
Family, Friends and Food Festival was held at the Royal Golf Club, featuring a variety of cuisines, live music and a memorable outdoor experience.
Family, Friends and Food is a concept that's been brought about almost through the boredom that everyone's experiencing thanks to the COVID regulations, which we fully understand why they're in place and the reasoning behind it, but it's time that we start to come out of that. But coming out of that obviously means that we do events for families, for children, for multiple sort of segments of people, but we do it in a safe and responsible way where everyone's spread out and people don't actually come into contact with each other. We're doing everything that everybody is doing, you know, temperature checking on the way in, we're taking everyone's CPR numbers, ID numbers, etc. Our tables are really spread out, we've only got limited number of people on each table. People are socially distanced, but I think the point is, even while maintaining social distance, we're providing an activity for people to come out and do, which people are desperate for right now. We live in such a great country that there's so many things to do, but the last 6 months we haven't had that opportunity. So the fact that we are lucky enough to be able to provide that opportunity now, it's great for us.
The vibes are always very good. We have so many different stands. We have Bushido, we have Frederick's, Nirvana, so many different kind of food. We represent Gallery 21, and I do actually pastas and risottos, but you can really have any food from everywhere in the world, and so it's very exciting.
So today we are here. Some of the festival here, you see, to bring some atmosphere, a good atmosphere. You see, for the Royal Golf Club here. So Bushido is bringing some traditional Japanese food, especially the tempura. You see, we have some sushi roll as well, and then plus we have a gyoza, dumpling. This kind of thing we are doing. Place, the atmosphere here is brilliant. You see, you guys can come down to have a look. You see, the Royal Golf Club is open in public. Anybody can come to enjoy. You see, to bring the family to this festival, to this food festival.
Narim Al-Bayati reporting for Bahrain International. Thank you for watching.
Thank you so much for watching tonight's episode as we learned a little bit about the Korean culture and language and saw what's happening at the American University of Bahrain. If you have any suggestions, please follow us on Instagram or just shoot us an email. Thank you for watching. Bara Abdullah here with Bahrain Now. God bless.